All right, here we are, guys. It's the going to start this little tutorial on the torque curve, and we're going to try and learn something along the way. And so we've got a 3406B in here, and I believe it's a stock configuration, other than it's my 805 horsepower version with more torque. But we're on a reasonably steep incline here. We're on the Reforma map outside of Sonora, heading towards Carson City, and what we're going to do is climb up this hill here, and we just sort of get a subjective feel for what it's like. I got traffic turned off, so we're just going to ignore the lights if you don't mind. So here we go. Let's see what happens. We'll just try and do a normal start. Not going to try and give it a bunch of throttle or anything. Okay, so it stalls really easy. That's sort of the gig with this truck. Let's try it again. Have to feed it a bit of throttle and mess with it a bit to get it going. Okay, that's highly unrealistic start in a diesel truck. If you haven't driven one, you don't give it any throttle when you let the clutch out, or else you'll be bucking all over the place, up and down. If you got a drink in your hand, you're going to spill it. It'll buck like an old Bronco. So I'm doing this shift so far with no split all the way to 13th gear. We'll split 13th and up. We'll just see how it feels getting up to the, up here. There'll be a spot we can pull in. So it's going reasonably well now. Let's see, we'll call it when we hit 55 miles an hour, I guess. See where we get to 55. Just hit 52. Oh, it's going to go down to 40. Well, let's just say we hit 51, 52 miles an hour when the speed limit dropped to 40. Right up here somewhere, there's a place to pull over. Maybe I should just stop here, and the hill is sort of decreasing a little bit. Oh yeah, here's that spot. So we'll just stop up here. There's another. Oh, it's further up too. There's another one, but this will do for now. All right, so by the 40 mile an hour sign, we got to just hit 52 miles an hour. So what we'll do now, I'm going to pause recording, and I'm going to scoot down the hill to the service, and then we're going to go in and we're going to mess with the engine files, and we'll try and change it a bit, see what we end up with. Back soon. Okay, so we're back down in Sonora at the bottom of the hill, and we're at the service location, but we're going to jump out to the desktop, and we're going to look. I should have a couple open defs, open defs open here for the engines, and this is the engine we have in the truck right now. This is the specific one in the truck. So I guess what I need to do, actually, I'll just pause again, sorry, and I'm going to see if I'm far enough out of the game. One sec. Yeah, so I backed out of the game, so I'm at the launch pad now, and this should work here. So the engine that I have in here is it says 80, but it's my 805 horsepower version. So if we open that up, here's the notepad. I'm having a heck of a time with this PC with my Notepad++. It hasn't worked for a month now, and I can't figure it out. Wasted a bunch of Recon's time a little while ago trying to sort it out. So anyway, here's the engine, and you can see that I've created this 80 and given it 805 horsepower and updated the kilowatt torque setting or horsepower setting, and the torque number I've changed 2950 foot-pounds, which is 4,000 Newton meters. And I've got a video on how I do this. So here's our torque in Newton meters, 4,000. Over here, this is the torque curve, and it's all in, this is all RPM. So it's relative, this figure, we don't have to mess with it any. This is the RPM. We don't really need to mess with that. But here is, I'm guessing, a percentage of torque that it's delivering at these RPMs. And so we'll look here and we'll see that we've got at 1,000 RPM 0.8. Maybe that's 0.8 percentage of this, I'm not sure. 1,200, it's 1-to-1. And then as we go up the gear rate, the RPM band, it's defining it further, and it drops, steadily drops, which I guess they're thinking that as you move up the RPM band and you're shifting gears, whatever, your torque is dropping off, and it would appear to be maximum torque at 1,200 RPM. So we look over here to, this is a C15 MBN King of the Hill. I know I've never touched this one other than the torque number here. The overall is the same as this one, so 805 horsepower, 2960 foot-pounds of torque, and they're identical. These are changes I made once again. And what we'll do now is look at the numbers here. So 1,000 RPM, it's 1-to-1. Well, here this one's 0.8. 1,200, it's, or at 1,500, it jumps to 1. So it goes right through that. From 1,000 to 1,500, it's 1-to-1. So what we'll do over here is we're going to make this 1. Oh, got to delete that 8. And we're going to make all the way up to 1,500, 1. It has a different progression once again, so it's going to look a little weird, but there we go. And then it goes 17 to 18, it's 92. We'll make this 92. And how many more do we have to go? Okay, we could keep going. 98. Oh, sorry, 1,600 is 98. Then it drops to 92. 92. Wow, it really starts to go down. Wow, real big. So what we'll do, I think, 92 to 86. We'll make this 86. We'll leave the rest of them where they are. I don't often drive it that high in the RPM band anyway, so we'll leave it like that and see what happens. So that's a fair change. It's 650 at 0.5. We'll leave that the way it is. And we'll see how this works. So we'll go File, Save. And theoretically, that's going to be saved in the game. And we'll jump back in there and, oops, I want to go here. And see if it changed anything. If not, there's a chance I'd have to go right out. Oh, I can test that easy enough, actually. I'll just Alt-Tab out when we get in here. And then I'll go back out and drill into that engine file again. Should have thought of that before starting this. Yeah, Alt-Tab out. Oh, wait a minute. That's not Alt-Tab. Let's exit to the launch pad. There we go. That's the right thing to do. Now we'll Alt-Tab to the desktop. We'll go here to this engine file. And here we are in the mod folder. And this is the engine. So, whoops. Go in there. DAF, vehicle, truck, FLX, engine 80. Ah, it didn't save the change. Okay, well, what I'll do and save putting you guys through all that grief again, I'll just pause the video and I'll go fix it all up, and I'll have to exit out of the game and come back in. So lesson learned. We'll save you some time by just stopping that right now. Back in a bit. Okay, so we're back up where we started the other test, and we're just going to got the traffic turned off again, so we're going to ignore the light, and we're just going to drive away, hopefully. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, just let out the clutch. We'll try and drive the same way we did. We won't over rev it or anything. Shifting around 1700 RPM. We're going to get into 13th before we start splitting. So here comes the first split to 14th. And when the sign said it reduced speed to 40, we were going 52 miles an hour last time. But it's we're really affecting the torque off the line, so I don't know how much that's really going to mean. But it did start off much better. And I had to go in and change the setting from the one we initially did. And I'll show you that because it wasn't making enough difference. Now we're going 55 miles an hour there, so we gained a little bit in miles an hour, but it was way more drivable off the line. Let's just do another full stop here. It's not very steep right here. But yeah, I just let out the clutch and then gave it the throttle, which this thing would stall on the flat if you were loaded doing that. So I think we did achieve something there. So instead of dragging this video on forever, we'll just, I'll just stop right here. And actually what I'll do, I'll just quick travel back down to the bottom of the hill. Sonora. It's funny, that's the bottom where we were, and it's all a big climb up to there. It's an insane road. It's a lot of fun. I've done a few videos with it now, but it's been a while. Confirm quick travel. Oh, I'm on a job. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. All right, so let's just, I'll pause recording, and I'll come back to you with the engine file open again and show you what I ended up doing. Okay, so we're back, and let's look at the engine file. What we ended up doing. Oh, I guess what I should do is open this one as well beside it. So this is the one we sort of copied the idea from, and what we ended up, because if you see this one had from 1,000 to 1,500, it was at 1, and that's what we did here. But initially, I had this at 0.5, and this was at 0, which is kind of weird. But this is 0, 0 at the bottom as well. So this one never had it 0, 0, it had 200, 0 for 200 RPM. And it was at 0 here. So I made it 0.5, and 0.5 used to be here at 650, where this one is at 600. And when I went back up the hill, with this at 0.5 and this at 0, it was just as bad. Even with all of this stuff up here, I couldn't get it to start off with just letting out the clutch. Wouldn't do it. So what I did is I put 650 at 1. That's probably the single biggest change right there. And I bumped this one to 0.5. So right down low is where the change happened. And we didn't gain a whole lot up the RPM band with this going up to 1. So I think what you're going to want to have is you could do what I've done here, or you could leave this, have these first three, 650, 1,000, 1,200 at 1 to 1, and then you could probably have the original increments above, 1,300 and up. But this seemed to be what made the engine perform better off the line. So now the downside is these figures have to go into each engine. So I'm going to just see if a guy can't select from here. Oh yeah, it's going to take it all. Well, let's go like this. I'm just going to take it to 1300, I think. I'll make it here. See if I take those, copy that, and then I'm going to go into here. I'll go to the 1000 horsepower engine, and I think it was these four. Just try and paste this in, see what happens. Yeah, that's how we can change that. So file and save. And theoretically, those changes will go into the other files. So we can close that. And we do want to update the archive. Yep. Oh, now we got to go back into mod, open it again. Open archive. You doing the FLX, of course. Yeah, we might as well do the 650 horsepower one as well. So you can see the original thing was 0.5 and 0 here. So, you know, below 1000 RPM, 1000 and below, we were getting quite a bit of reduced torque. And by doing this right here, we got, it was much better. And it's not crazy. Like I tried to stall it. I was able to by just dumping the clutch. So we'll just minimize that for a second. We'll go to the next one and see if this is the good way to change them. I'm not going to do all of them because I don't use those lesser engines. Control V. Yeah, and then we'll go save. And that one, update it. And jump out of it, go back in once we're fully out. And just make sure it's all there. Let's bring this back over here. I'll check the 65. Oh, see that didn't stay changed. 3406B 650. Let's go. Minimize that. I wonder why that didn't change. This is the 500 horsepower one. It didn't change. Oh boy, what did we do wrong? Do I have... Yeah, I went right out of the game. I think we need to... what do we got here? It's a C15. Well, let's go from here. We'll just go up to the other. Yeah, it's not changed. I must have done something wrong. Let's check the 805. Well, it's still changed. Well, so that's, I guess, not good. You've got to copy them and get right out of there. So the first four, let's try it again. I want to make this work for you. So copied that. We're going to go into the 650. We're going to take those first four. Oops, right there. Control V. We're going to go File, Save, and close it. Update the archive. Okay, so now that's closed right out. Let's close these. I might have had too many files open in the background. Oh yeah, this is a problem right here. Get all these closed. And we'll save these things as we close them. That's what happened. Left those open. All right, now let's try going in again. Yeah, those other ones should be saved now, so that was my problem. I left the thing hanging open by not closing those files. So there's a lesson. Oh, DEF, vehicle, truck, FLX. I accidentally reversed the order of the search there. So that one's still there. That one's there. And that one's there. Okay, so it does work. You can just copy them in, but then what you have to do is close these files out. Don't leave them hanging open like I did. So it works. So there we are. That's what you need to do to get more torque out of the engine. So if that works for you, let me know. And if you need it clarified or whatever, I'd be happy to do that. So what I'm going to do is that same thing for this C15. And I've got to go through and do it in all those popular engines, or trucks rather, that I have under those various engines, those two engines in effect, and get a little more torque off the line on them. So there you go. Hope that worked, and if it did, good news. So take care, guys. Bye for now.